I don't know how to explain it. I haven't disliked an episode yet. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I disliked this episode. I enjoyed a lot of this because I'm trying to remember like exactly where it picked up at. Was it just like it was when they were doing like the she was scouting, like Dina was scouting and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I love how like again how smart her character is, how she's able to do stuff even when she doesn't have the right tools. Um, and I love how like they're still playing on the smartness of the stalker zombies and how they had a big switch in that moment because Dina from the jump has been like, I'm making the plans. We're going to do this. We're going to follow it how I call it. But in that exact moment, because Ellie's dealt with them before, and they see that there's one, there's three, there's a bunch of them or whatever. She's like, no, you're gonna listen to me. You're gonna lock yourself in that cage, and then I'm gonna try to get them away from you. Like almost like she was like sacrificing herself because she's like, well, like they're probably gonna kill me. But at least if you're in that cage, hopefully you're protected. And I I don't think she got bit again, but like it was so cool to see Jesse come in and save them. And obviously he's you know not in the mood to talk, and Ellie's still trying to like talk to him. But there's this like really weird relationship between the three of them because and I don't even know if because Jesse would at this point Jesse wouldn't know that she's pregnant, right?
Yeah, he wouldn't know.
She found out. Like, she found out afterwards.
Yep.
So he's the father of Dina's baby, but and he still cares about Dina, but Dina's with Ellie, and then Ellie and Jesse were really good friends. But then now you got this dynamic, so it kind of puts a little awkward tension between the two of them. Like they're trying to one up each other in a way. Like she was trying to prove, like, look, I can do this by myself. I don't need your help, type shit. But like she did need his help because if he didn't show up, what happens? They're dead. Like I mean, they were starting to peel into the fucking cage with Dina, bro. Like,
Man, it was getting deep.
um, I think my favorite scene of the entire episode was when they went into the gardens with the Seraphites.
Uh huh.
Um, because like it was so eerie. Like because like for one, it looked beautiful. Like, and I don't think I could ever like discredit. Um, I don't think I could ever discredit like the cinematography of the show ever. They just don't seem to disappoint me. Every time I see something like where they show like a big part of the game or whatever, they're so in depth and on point. And I just love that. So the Seraphite scene is really dope. I love how Dina didn't react when she got hit with the arrow because like maybe she was hoping that like, they wouldn't like actually like hear her. I mean, obviously she felt it, and then you got there's the big thing about the sports yet I haven't gone into yet because I was going to talk about it when I got to the last part. Um, and then Ellie obviously tells Jesse to leave, and then you get her supposed to go help them, and then what does she see? The hospital. And now she's like, well, I gotta go get Nora. That's the whole reason I came here. I gotta go get Nora. And I liked her interaction with Nora. I liked everything about it, how Nora played it, and then she was like, yeah, that bitch should have died and threw the fucking shit at him. Yeah, like I love that shit. Like, and I saw the thing at the end. The director didn't like. He just told them to do what felt natural, like in the running scenes and stuff, like whatever. Like, he didn't direct them in any of that. He just do what feels natural and go and make it look right. Then obviously Nora's trying to get away from Ellie, right? So she's gonna go down to the base level, which brings you back to the beginning because there's that captain and she's basically feels like she's about to be executed or whatever because her whole team is gone, right? Like she had a whole team that was supposed to be like securing the hospital, and they found out that there are spores down in the basement level. And the reason that it's not out is because they locked up the basement levels as much as they could so that it wouldn't spread. And when you get down there, you see her like her son and all this other people, like people she had to leave back there, and they're basically in a constant state of near death, like because like they themselves have been like basically attached to these spores, and all they can really do is breathe in and then breathe out. So that like it's like almost like they're being kept alive on life support, but it's like one of the worst systems of life support you've ever seen. It was calling me now. They just hung up. I'm gonna hang up on them, but okay. Um, but literally, like that seems like a fate worse than death because you can never leave that spot. Like you were there. This is what you like. You're destined to be in this spot. You're destined to basically feed this fungi like it's life support, and that seems hellish. Then of course you got her following Nora down there. She finds in the little red area. I like how they did that. And then Nora's trying to, I guess, reason with her. Like, one, you've killed us both. And then when she finds out who she is, she's like, you know what he did? And she's like, yeah, I know. And I was wondering when they were going to get to that point. I thought that was going to be like in the last episode of the season. But I like how they talked about it. So now we'll probably get that in the next episode. And this version of Ellie is definitely different than the game version of Ellie. Because in the game, she actually gave her a chance to survive. This one did not. She literally just was beating her. And then it just cuts to her waking up. And who does she see? She sees Joel. And then credits. And I like it. It's not my favorite episode of the season. It's not the worst episode of the season. I felt like I wanted more to happen in this episode than what we got. But I'm not disappointed. And the sport thing, I like it and I don't like it. I don't like it for the sense of we started off this whole show saying we couldn't do the spores because of they weren't working like the real world or whatever. Because like in the game, there's so many spots where you walk in there and look, there's just spores everywhere. So you have to wear the mask. You know what I mean? But I like it in the sense of how they at least explain it in this situation, and that it's not just you breathe in the spores and you'll die. You'll basically breathe in the spores and then be kind of like consumed by it because you're in that area because it's so infected. It's so overgrown with the fungi or whatever that it's just its own entity down there. And again, that itself is scarier for me than anything the Seraphites did. Like even when they were like they had dude hung up and they just like they disemboweled him right in front of everybody. That's wild. That was a great scene. But I think being that whatever you would call that for the bacterial infection or whatever this is, the fungal thing, that's horrifying to me. It's like I can never do anything else. This is all I am. This is all I'll ever be. That's terrifying.
Yeah, until you fade away into the abyss.
No, because that's the thing. Like I watched the thing. Like you don't die. Like that. From that, you're just there forever. like in a state between life and death. You're just there. You'll never recover from that.
So you never turn?
No, not in that situation. No, with the spores and like being like absorbed into the wall and shit. Those guys are alive. They are alive, but there's nothing you can do for them. I mean, you can shoot and kill them, I guess, and that would sort of stop it. But like they're basically again just like they're a resource as to shoot out more spores into the air. And because there's only a few of them down there, they can't shoot out enough to like I guess go too far with it. That's why it's down there. It's just so many spores and shit. But yeah, like
So, do the spores? See, now I'm confused because if they breathe in the spores, is that kind of a way of like reproduction and making people turn? What's the fine line between that if they don't turn? You see what I'm saying here?
Here's the thing. So it's literally just in that area for the people who don't turn. So like, because that's
them special.
I don't know. I think it's just because that was basically like ground zero. You know what I mean? Like that's where everything started. So and then when you like, no one's gone down there in so long. They've had all the doors locked. It just kind of grows and grows and grows to where that's where like it kind of like it's like evolving in a way, and it's taking those people now. From what I understand, like you know how Nora she breathed in the spores, right? Yeah. Say she got out of that room, she would just turn because like she's not gonna be stuck in that area, like to be like absorbed into the thing.
So basically, if you leave the hive, you turn.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So like if they had left that room instead of like saying, "Hey, lock us in here," they would have turned or like had to be killed or whatever. But because they're where it's like all started and it's all growing down there, they're all just being absorbed into it. And I think eventually what's going to happen is they're going to be absorbed into that thing from the game.
Yeah.
Potential.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I think so too. It just makes sense.
That's where I think that's going. It's to where that's why they're still there and whatever. Yeah, at least that's what
That's still a weird place to end the season, though.
I don't think we're going to end with that. I don't think that's going to be the end of this. I think we won't see that till next season. Honestly, at this point,
so they're going to go back to that.
I think so. I mean, or it's going to happen early on in the last episode, like maybe like towards the beginning, maybe. But I don't think that's going to be like the last scene. Or like even towards like I don't think it'll be the very end thing because like I don't think that'd be a good way to end it personally. They could prove me wrong, I guess they could, but that's not what I see. Okay, your thoughts?
Sorry, I'm tending to a little baby here.
That's all good. I understand.
Okay, so here's my thoughts, right? For me personally, the show has fallen apart. Now, hear me out, right? So, for me, this has fallen apart to the point where I don't think it can be redeemed. Like, no matter what happens in the final 2 episodes, especially with us knowing what comes next. So let's just start with this episode. Like, I think this episode in particular is the clearest example yet of how the show and the showrunners are still speed running the story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my biggest complaint yet has been the pacing. And this episode alone really takes the cake for me. Like, the pace is a mess. Like, we go from the theater, day 2, to the park scene with the Seraphites, which the park scene or the garden really should have been like longer, man. We should have had a longer sequence, more time. But then, like, suddenly Ellie's at the hospital. I mean, that's it. She slips through a hole. She finds Nora immediately. I mean, it's just like boom. And then we get the pipe ending, like just like that. No build up, no stealth sequences, no setup. It's literally just like a lazy jump cut. And some of the dialogue in this is still to me. A lot of it in season 2 has like just been like downright cringe sometimes. And like the action sequences have been solid, but they still don't feel Ellie-esque to me, if that makes sense. And when they're trying to tell the story to me, it's like they don't trust the audience to follow the story on their own. Like, yeah, it's a revenge tale. Like, that's the point. But you have to trust your viewers to pick up on these emotional cues and cues in the show visually. Like, you don't have to beat us in the head with everything. Like, direct saying, hey, this is what it is. But my biggest complaint, though, is the way they're treating Ellie. Like, nowhere, and I mean nowhere in this season 2, have I been convinced that Ellie is the main character. Like, among the cast, everybody outshines Ellie to me and Bella in that parallel. And I'm not talking trash about the actor or nothing like that. I mentioned very early on, I'm not going to go on that hate train. I'm not that kind of person. But Ellie to me feels like a side character in her own show, right? So, like, take Dina, for instance. Like, in the show, she's written like a guru, which fixed the character for the events unfolding in the story.
Yep.
Like, and it kind of makes sense because she is the responsible one and the prepared one. But Ellie, like, she's just clueless. And it's to me, it's like borderline comedic at this point. Like, the show is turned into a fucking comedy for me. And like, part of Ellie's character is sometimes a bit like shoot first, ask questions later. And like, I get that. But like, Joel made her resourceful. Like, Ellie is street smart. And in this show, I just feel like her brain is on like vacation 90% of the time. Like, they even make fun of her stupidity in a joking way, but I feel like they had some weight to it. Like, I've been waiting for that shift from Ellie to transition from that goofy, naive girl in season 1 to this more mature version of Ellie in season 2. And that still hasn't happened. To me, she's gotten even goofier this season. And I just don't understand how the evolution of the characters is not there yet for me. And it didn't even happen in the ending scene with Nora. Like, I can't take it seriously. And I get like part of Ellie's charm is being sarcastic, and I love that. But this version of Ellie to me acts like she's in fucking grade school when she's attempts to be funny. Like, to me, it just doesn't land. And I feel like with this episode really hit home for me because this was, again, my breaking point, because I feel like the amazing production design can no longer be the makeup for the bad flaws of this show. The writing's a mess. The pacing is a mess. The characters are a mess. Not all of them. It's just, I feel like these directors aren't actually directing these actors. They're just like saying, okay, good enough. But that's coming from like a filmmaker standpoint, not really a viewership standpoint. And it's really distracting, like in the worst way. But that's only part of the problem. Like, everything feels rushed. Ellie is rushed. Her relationship with Dina is rushed. The Seattle storyline is rushed. This episode alone is super, super rushed. And I was hoping this show would eventually pick up steam and start to connect the dots. But instead, they're like laser focused on hitting the highlight moments and the emotional gut-wrenching moments. But they're skipping everything that actually gives those moments weight. The build-up beforehand, the aftermath after. And now that we know the next episode is going to be the flashback scenes, that only leaves one episode for the season finale. And at this point, it doesn't matter what they do with it. I feel like unless that motherfucker's 5 hours long, it won't be enough time to fix the show's pacing issues, the messy storytelling, or the fact that the supporting cast is overshadowing the main character. Because again, I feel like, to me, Ellie does not feel like the main character in her own show. And like, this isn't from a standpoint of even comparing it to the game anymore. Like, we're past that. Looking back now and thinking the glass was half full, I think I would actually go back in the past and shave off one, maybe even two numbers from our ratings of each episode, excluding episode 1, which I gave a 4 out of 10. Because the opening episode failed to pack any kind of punch as a season opener. You need that punch for a season opener. It should have that. But sadly to me, the show hasn't gotten better. And now they're going to end this season with, in the next 2 episodes, and then it's going to be another 2-year wait because they don't start production until next year. And there's a year buffer after that for post-production. All because they thought it would be a good idea for this to be just a simple 7 episodes. I feel like that decision alone really sabotaged the season structure. And it's a domino effect on everything. Because honestly, at this point, I would have preferred starting with Abby's story. Like, she nailed that revenge arc, and she barely had any screen time. I mean, it's day and night. And I can't say the same for our supposed lead. Like, I gave this episode one last chance to turn things around, but instead it really slapped me in the face even harder. So, I mean, I'll watch the flashbacks next week. I'll enjoy some more Joel, the backstory with Ellie. You know, there's some fine moments in there, which, you know, we know those moments that are coming. But then I'm going to have to sit through this what I expect to be a very painfully awkward season finale that's just going to end on a very awkward note when it comes to timing and pacing. And that'll be it. So overall, yeah, I am very unhappy with the show now. That's not saying this show's dog shit, because it's not. And I can just go on and on about the rant. The main thing this show has going for it is the production design. I mean, I would be happy to just throw a fucking wrench at things and be like, oh my God, why did you do that? Why did you change that? Because it would just be something new. But yeah, I'm really starting not to like the show anymore. I know that's going to break your heart. And I hate that. But,
Yeah.
I mean, the shows fell off for me. I really enjoyed season 1. It had its flaws, but season 2, ever since the beginning, every episode has been underwhelming for me. And I gave it a little boost because I thought that the show would start to iron out some of these blaring flaws that they have.
Yeah.
And honestly, after this, I'm probably not going to watch season 3. That's my take.
Ray, you don't break my heart with your opinion. Like we're different people, bro. Like, we see things differently, and
I know this is your baby, so
no, I know, no, that's perfectly fine. Like I said, we're good. Because like me and you, we see things differently sometimes. There's times when we come together and we're like, yeah, we saw it the same way. We did this, and like, you know, like, we agree on all this. We don't have to agree on this. You know what I mean?
I mean, I didn't expect you to agree. It's just I know we have very different standpoints, and the way we are viewing the show. Like, but do you understand it through my eyes?
I can understand it through your eyes. Yes, I will say this. I guess as a counterpoint, but I do agree, at least in the pacing situation, because I want more personally. I want them to show more like things going on, and again, sometimes that's not just not possible. But I do agree, at least with the pacing. I don't agree with the writing personally. I think it's just because of how what kind of a fan I am. When I'm invested, I'm invested, and as long as the story has been good to me, I'm there. Like, there hasn't been a week where I was like, you know what, I don't know if I really want to catch up on the next episode or anything. I was super excited when this episode did it. Like, I was so excited because I was like, oh my God, we're gonna get the flashbacks and we're gonna get to see this scene and this scene, and God, I can't wait. I was a little confused because I was like, okay, so what happens in episode 7? We talked about that a little bit at the beginning of this, because I was like, where's the end point? Like, legit, where is the end point? I know where I think the end point should be, but maybe that's not where they get to. Now, if they get to that, I do think that's way too rushed. They'll have to like really convince me as to why we got there already. But like I said, we don't have to agree on everything. I still enjoy the show. I like the show. I want to watch the next season. If you don't, that's perfectly fine. You know what I mean? We don't have to review this for the next season. Um, and I'm still invested. I still enjoy it. I want to see where we get to. But again, like
Can you see that poll in
that
chat?
no.
You can't see it.
Yeah, Alex talking about how he hates the show. That's all I've seen, and that's it.
So you can't see that poll?
No, only thing I see on my side is in comments where Alex said, and then I see a picture of me, and the other one is just a private chat, I guess, between me, you, and if there was a guest.
Yeah, so I did a public poll, and I asked, "Are you enjoying season 2?" Can you guess what the ratio is?
Probably no. It's probably a heavy no.
It's 100% no.
What I know, Alex posted it, and like unless there's more people in it right now, I know he doesn't like the show because I could read the comment he posted. But that's fine. And if y'all don't want us to review this the rest of the way, we don't have to. Like Ray, if you don't want to review the rest of it, we don't have to. I'm perfectly fine watching this
I
and
mean, I
enjoying
can't
it.
do that. We're already here. Time invested. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't build half a house.
We did that with Chucky. Now we did that with Chucky. We stopped like midway. We didn't even finish it. That was
yeah, you're right.
2. That was season 2.
Yeah, but we also had some issues behind the scenes, if you remember.
I'm saying like it wouldn't be like that crazy to stop it if you're not enjoying it, if you're not invested in it. Not because think about the one time we've done it where we watched something that we weren't really invested in, which was what I Know What You Did Last Summer. And we literally only watched it like at that point was just because we wanted to be able to roast it and make fun of it. Because like there was no good in the show. They just were not good.
As bad as that show is, I do think it had better pacing than this show.
Perfectly fine.
That's how bad I think that the pacing is in this show. Like it is totally discombobulated. Like it is fucked.
And then I can respect that. There's the thing I don't respect is when people are like shitting on the show because of like either like the casting that they did or like saying it's too much like the game and stuff like that. Like those are what I don't like get. But I see the pace. I can see it clearly. Like it's not perfect in any way. It's not all this. And the only explanation I can give as sort of a defense for them is they might not have had the time nor the resources to put everything in there. They might not have been given more than 7 episodes. They might have like legit been told, "Hey, this is as far as you can go, 7 episodes. So fit what you can fit in there." Because like it's not like networks are like super flexible with how things go. Sometimes they give you a number and that's what you got. But
I figured if that's the case, I figured HBO would be a little bit more lenient considering the exclusive things they do most of the time.
You think so, but they apparently only gave
Game of Thrones. And it's an HBO original. You know, it's an original.
I'm saying same with Game of Thrones, but if you look at the last season of Game of Thrones, they were given 8 episodes.
I've never watched Game of Thrones.
I know enough about it because of like people that I watch or whatever who have talked about it and everything. And from what I've heard, because I haven't seen all of it, the first 4 seasons are really well done.
Aren't there 8 seasons?
Yeah, they're great seasons. And then 5, 6, and 7 kind of go down, and then 8 is absolute dog shit.
That's what I heard. Now, I've never seen a single episode, and stuff like that doesn't appeal to me. Like medieval stuff like that. No, that's not up my alley.
But again, I said that is an HBO thing. Like that's a main HBO thing. Like they made bank because of Game of Thrones.
Like, isn't that what's her name that played off Terminator?
I don't remember.
One of the main stars in the Game of Thrones.
Well, I know two of the stars from Game of Thrones are in The Last of Us.
All right, obviously. Emilia Clarke, that's what I was looking for. Isn't that the show where there's this famous scene where like she just like gets, like plowed against her will?
Yep.
Isn't that the show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that show. Like
Oh,
a
yeah?
lot of it. Yeah.
Well,
That's what I've heard. I still have not seen the show in any way.
I haven't either. I imagine half the
think
fan bases over there were like tissues and like lotion and shit. Sick
maybe,
bastards.
but again, like I said, I think maybe they're starting to cut down on things because, like, I don't remember how many episodes the first few seasons had of Game of Thrones, but to go, I know that they had more, at least more than 10, and then you go down to 8. It's like they're just cutting things down. So maybe they're just like not giving them the time to flesh it out when that's what you want. But again, I could be wrong. They might have like been like, "Hey, we're only going to do 7 episodes. That's cool. So that's what we're going to do."
Season 1 had 10 episodes.
Oh, Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which again, I feel like 10 episodes is well enough. I
Yeah.
don't see why it's becoming a trend to just shave these down more and more and more and more and more and more and more. Like, I don't understand it.
I don't know.
Because especially like with the hours of gameplay and story, especially from part 2 of The Last of Us, that is so much to try to compact. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And condense and pick and choose what you're going to change, what you're going to keep the same. Season. I'm looking at this. Okay, so Game of Thrones had 10 episodes a season all the way up to season 6. Season 7 had 7 episodes. And season 8 had 6 episodes. What the fuck?
Yeah. So I guess I heard because I heard season 8. I never thought it was 8 episodes. Yeah, so 6
HBO needs to get this
episodes.
shit together, man. Why? Look, even from a financial standpoint, if you have a banger of a show, why would you want to limit the number of episodes down so low?
Save money, probably.
Bro, you're gonna make money off of it. It takes money to make money.
I don't know. But some people don't go that way. They think saving
You're losing
it's the
ad
same-
revenue, viewership.
It's the same in like the restaurant economy. Like because I've worked fast food. I work fast food now. You know what I mean? And there's such a thing of like, well, we can't let labor get too high. So we're just going to either send people home or we're going to send breaks. And then what happens is we get a rush of people coming in, and now we're short staffed. And then we're going to have to we're just going to have to power through that. And in a way, it doesn't make sense because what it is we're going to save money. So like we need to save money, so that's what we'll do. We'll take the hit. We'll take the hit. It's whatever. Because like with Game of Thrones, they're just like, well, people love all the rest of the season, so they'll like the season. It doesn't matter how short it is. We'll take a hit. Same with The Last of Us. People are so invested in the first season, and then we get to the second season, everybody's like, "Oh yeah, they'll watch it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." It's like we'll push out wherever we can. We'll do it. Just go. Do what you can.
I don't understand how that's the same parallel.
Okay. Because my whole point was like the fact that we're cutting corners to save money.
Right.
That's what was because like in my situation, if I go from 8 people to 5 because we're slow for even like a 30-minute period, and then in the next 30-minute period we have a lot of orders. I'm short staffed from what I should have or what I need, and I have to make that work. That's what I was saying. Is like we're just basically cutting corners.
But I don't see how that makes any sense though. Like in the realm of film, right?
Yeah.
I mean, of course you're gonna have to pay actors, but actors
Yeah.
have a daily rate and they have a SAG rate.
Yeah.
But why would you shave down 3 whole episodes?
No idea.
When you're like, to me, the
I mean, I can't make it make
the
sense.
pendulum isn't swinging for me. You know what I'm saying?
No, I was saying,
Because
I
if you have
can't
three
make
more
it.
episodes, hit me out. You're losing viewership, right?
Mhm.
Ad revenue, streaming revenue, distribution revenue, physical copy revenue. Like you have so many things that you're losing money on.
Yeah.
So if I presented you 5 ways to make more money, would you sacrifice that for one reason not to make that money? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean,
You have
again,
more options to make money than you do losing money with this.
and I agree. I'm saying like I can't make it make sense from their perspective. That's the only way I. That's the only thing I can think of as to why they're doing it is to save money. 'Cause I've heard that before. So like, I mean, I could be wrong, super wrong. I don't know. I don't know like the mindset of a network executive. You know. Also, Alex commented, wanted to know when there's 10 questions for 2009's Friday the 13th episode coming.
When is 10 questions for 2009 for the 13th episode coming? I got to do Jason X first, man. Be patient. So I'm looking here. Yeah, so some of these HBO originals can just be scrapped from the fucking showroom floor. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell is Hacks? What is this? Season 4, okay. I don't know what that is. Peacemaker, I can understand. Tiny Toons, Luniversity. Okay. The Rehearsal. Never even heard of that. Silly Sundays Waitress. It Welcome to Derry. If they do that with it, I'm gonna be highly upset. The White Lotus, I've heard that's a pretty big banger.
Yeah.
Harley Quinn, you know, that's a pretty big banger there. Help My House is Haunted. Like, come on, man. Anyway, my point is, yeah, I don't see the point in them trying to trim it down. Like, I just don't. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
I got you.
Which I don't wear in an executive hat, so ain't nothing we can do about it.
No.
But you agree, though?
With pacing, sure, yes. I absolutely agree with that. I don't necessarily agree with anything else she said about it, which, again, that's your opinion. We're different people. But pacing, I can.
No, I mean about the 3 episodes thing.
Oh, if they had more episodes, I'd be super excited. Like, I don't understand why we cutting it. Like, doesn't make sense. Like, if Neil went to Max and was like, "Hey, we need 10 episodes or for the season," like if he went to them, they're like, "Hey, the best we can do is give you 7." I'd be upset. I don't know if I would take it. Now, granted, he did. Yeah, but
make me compromise on my shit. Fuck you.
Obviously, I would want more out of it. But I personally am still happy with what we have.
You know what? Now that I think about it, I think that's exactly what happened. I think they made a counter offer. Like, you know what? We'll give you 7 episodes this season. He's like, what the hell's going on? There's no way I'm doing that. But then they're like, okay, how about we counter with we give you a season 3 so you can complete your story.
Yeah.
So he had to think about it. He's like, you know what? All right then. That's the only scenario I could think of.
I'll try to make it work the best I can.
Ain't got no choice.
Yeah.
But I do feel like, again, that only having 7 episodes of this is what structurally damaged the show for me. If we had 3 more episodes, 3 more hours of content. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you.
It could work wonders. But here we are. Can't change it. At least next episode, we're going to get some flashbacks. We get to see Joel again. And I'm pretty sure, you know, they're going to replay some of the most iconic moments in that. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Try not to spoil anything for next week.
Yeah. I guess we'll see when we get there.
Absolutely.
Sorry. All right, I guess we can end it there then. Sorry, I'm getting freaking notifications pop up on my main
Priority.
screen. Yeah,
Priority.
sorry. Thank you for watching. Thank you, chaps, for commenting. If you let us know what you're thinking about the show. Like, if you don't like it, there's a poll. If you like it, let us know why. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. We appreciate all y'all. Thank y'all for the 1 million views we got recently. And
Yeah, it's mind blowing.
until next time, guys. Peace.